Well, after further disappointment in the Carabao Cup final last time out, we continue our stuttering league form. We stay in 8th place and we've become a cup team. And today, with two more competitions and two more tough trips away from home, we've really got to find some results. Yes, hello, and welcome along to part 142 of Saving Southend with me, Daniel, otherwise now known as Operation Save Our Season. Because in 8th place, we are starting to come under a bit of pressure, and even though we've got loads of games in hand at the moment, they're sandwiched between loads of cup games and we're not winning them. Today, we go away to Juventus, the team we played in last year's Champions League semi-final in the second leg of the last 16, having won that first leg 3-1 in the last episode. And then we go to Aston Villa in the FA Cup, who are currently one place and 1 point above us in the Premier Division. So if you're looking forward to seeing how we get on in this one, please do chuck a thumbs up on the video. The club vision, the board expectation, it's all a little bit difficult at the moment. We're still in the C's because we've managed to reach the latter stages of the Champions League, or we are on course to. If we go out at this stage, we will have failed that objective too. If we fail the big ones, are we in trouble? If we go out the FA Cup, again, might be a problem. So we've got to see how we get on. The supporters are not happy with how we're going. We're not challenging for the title. We're not looking great. And last time out since you were last here, we did rotate against Chelsea at home in the league. We battered them for the most part. Then we conceded a late goal. Chelsea then got a red card and we just couldn't find a way through. Liban Elmi got the goal, but Carr not scored since that Leicester game in the FA Cup. Nana Fair and Joe Wills both in goal droughts. Not particularly good timing. Two tough cup games though. Loads of games sandwiched into April, which really worries me about the league. But hopefully we can just find a way into the Champions League for next year and maybe win a cup to keep us comfortably in a job. Let's go and start that process with a tough game away at Juventus. We're hoping we'll get a good youth intake as well, but that'll probably come in the next one. So for now, let's focus on a trip to Turin, which is not going to be easy. If you want a reminder of last season, it was a very tense one, wasn't it? We just about squeaked through against Juve, and this time, against that dreaded formation, the box midfield, with those two up front that have caused us so much trouble before, particularly Camwenyo, we have got a real tough ask here. Let's see what we can do with our team selection. I'm going for the goal droughts up front because I've not really got a choice. Even Ivanov hasn't scored in 4. And off the bench, Marciano still not fit. Ukulano and Muscat are on it, but not particularly fit. And Aguiman struggling as well. But it means we've managed to generally restrict the heavy match loads in the team. There's a couple like the left wingers and the right where both have played in every match, but just one starting, one off the bench. So it's a heavy match load, but the minutes aren't too bad. Same situation at right back. The rest of it's full strength. I know he's not been in great form the last few games, but I've put Bettini back in goal. I want my first choice team, the team that are comfortable with each other, and hopefully the one that will produce the most solid display. With that, we've got Carlos and Memic at fullback, Rakowski and Herbert the centre halves, Robertson and Vasquez the two wide men, Bernberg and Torres in central midfield, and up front is Nana Fair and Joe Wills. A good partnership, 14 goals each this season, and no goals or assists in the last 5 for Joe Wills. So let's say, should we just give him the proper kick up the backside? How long before I can play somebody else? Nana Fair, do you want the same chat? I can't give it to you. You've scored 1 goal, which is annoying. Let's go and see how we get on in this one. A tough trip to Italy and a Champions League tie that we really can't afford to go out of, because if we fail in this objective as well, we're going to start coming under very big pressure pretty quickly. Off to Turin, and hopefully it won't be a nightmare. Well, Nuno's side have given us some real trouble in this save, particularly the last 2 or 3 years. They've got a quality side out, the familiar 3 or 4 up front. Rego, Camwenyo and Eljolfsson have caused us all sorts of problems in the last season. So let's say, boys, I want to be impressed. Do not let me down. And Joe Wills, if you could end that goal drought today, really would be lovely, because I don't really trust us to keep a clean sheet. Into the first half, you can see some of the other ties. There is an all-English tie, which is great for us, because if we get through, avoiding English opposition would be better. We've struggled against them generally this year. And Luis Vasquez has got a corner and a chance to find a man. He's at it again. No, he's not. It's Joe Wills who scores it. The chat works again. It always works, that chat. Joe Will's off the mark. He scores when it matters. Lewis Herbert obviously scored that ridiculous hat-trick in the first leg. Seems it's the only route to score against Juve, but we've found their weakness and we're exploiting it because Joe Wills is up again. It's a carbon copy. Southend United 2-0 up in 12 minutes. 5-1 on aggregate. Where was this? Why couldn't we have scored from the 15 corners against Newcastle in the League Cup final? I mean, we'll forgive it now if we can go on a run. Joe Wills ends his goal drought with 2. It was Herbert with a back post hat-trick of headers in the first leg. Will it be Joe Wills this time? Give us another corner. That's all we want in this game. A quarter gone. It's dreamland so far. Luis Vasquez has had a brilliant start. Carlos on the left is flying. And Bettini looks to have rediscovered form in goal. The longer this continues, the happier we'll be for the weekend. We can even think about resting people. As Nana Fair picks the ball up for Bernberg. Working hard here. Lovely switch of play to Carlos, who cuts in from the left. Takes up Bernberg's position there. Robertson flicks on for Nana Fair. He's in for 3. It was tight for offside. But I think he might be all right, you know. I think he might be all right here. Nana Fair awaits the VAR check. And Southend United are going through. This is our best performance in a long time. Where on earth has this been, lads? Wills and Fair both end the goal drought, which, if they can then keep up their form, could be a great sign. As Nana Fair poaches it off the centre half. He's in one-on-one and puts it straight at the keeper. I'm not sure about that finish. We're going to praise the lads because they played really well. I don't want them to drop off here. Don't give them a sniff. Zakiri gets it wide to Rego. In the edge of the box. He's not really close down here. And it goes straight in through Bettini. Just not capable of keeping a clean sheet, are we? 3-1 on the night. 6-2 on aggregate. Should still be comfortable. But I've seen us make difficult situations from easier positions than this. And that's what has me a little bit worried here. If we go through the dressing room, I'm going to tell the lads that I'm happy with the number of shots so far. Keep it up. Keep playing well. And then at the hour mark, we can rest people if need be. It's been a really good display so far. And I just need us to keep it up for another 40 minutes. We've not had many great 90-minute displays this season. We tend to have poor spells in matches. As here they come, Juve. They're going to throw everything at this. They'll want to get 1 or 2, get us nervous. And they're working the ball forwards here. Still looking for the right opportunities. As they go wide with Manuzzi. We're chasing them out there, but we're not able to intercept. And it's back to the edge of the box where Torres has vacated his position. And Zakiri's shot goes just wide. The voice is going, but Bettini had it covered. And I'll take that exchange now. If we get through and I lose my voice, I'll tell you what, I'm happy with that. Well, 25 minutes remaining. I've managed to muster up a little bit of a vocal cord again. So let's go and get Ivo Torres off for Kivrakidis, who's just going to have to do the box-to-box role today. I'm also going to bring off... I'm cautious here because we've drawn a game against Juve from 4-1 up before, so I don't want to go mad. I am going to bring on Liban Elmi, though. He's going to go on the right-hand side of midfield for now. Or, in fact, it could be Adamson, because he needs to build some fitness. So he'll go out there for now. Joe Wills should come off, but I'm going to give him another 5 to get a hat-trick. Then we'll put Elmi on for him up front, as Carlos, with a chance to work it forward towards Joe Wills, trying to make that run in behind, but doesn't find him. It's away only as far as Vasquez, who gives it to Wills. Vasquez on a hat-trick of assists, of course, as Adamson on the right, into Nana Fair. He's on a hat-trick now too, or is he? The hands up. I couldn't see, but I think the flag was up. It did look tight, this one, to be honest. I'm not sure if this will count. Goal review again. Nana Fair, not so lucky with the second VAR check. Stays 3-1 on the night. And with 20 to go, we might have to look at changes because we're starting to tire. But if we concede again, it becomes problematic. Is that a penalty? Carlos tripped his man. We got away with it. Back as far as Zakiri. The danger's not gone. Thigerson in midfield. Fair nicks it. He's worked so well tonight. Vasquez on the left. Gives it away. Signs of fatigue in there though. Bernberg's got it back. Peter Bernberg towards the right for Adamson. Good touch to Nana Fair. Adamson again. Kivrakidis making a run. Joe Wills with him, but he doesn't need him. Kivrakidis, he hates playing that box-to-box role. He throws a tantrum every time he does. But you can see why I do it occasionally, because he's bloody good at it. 4-1 on the night. Now we're through. Let's make changes. Carlos, we need for the weekend. Andre, you can come on. We're going to take off Joe Wills for Liban Elmi. And we're going to take off possibly Vasquez, I think. I'm going to go for Teddy Ivanov out on the left-hand side. He'll replace him. Or do we do Bernberg? Might be worth looking at other options here. I'll tell you what I could do. Could rest Memic, but again, Aguiman's not bad for the weekend. I'm going to bring Ivanov on for Vasquez. We'll push him up on this side. Inside forward on attack. We know what he's best at. Let's get him on. 4-1. We should be tie over now. We can relax and enjoy 20 minutes of Champions League football. I've not been able to say that much this year. Well, into the final 10. I've got the mighty head coach shirt on today, which is probably why we've actually done some decent tactical work. As Bernberg, I thought we were going to concede right on cue there, genuinely. As De Gea works it down to Munoz on the left. De Gea again, space to run into. Bobs to play short. Just don't want to give them any crumb of excitement or anticipation that the comeback could be on. Ball into the box is intercepted well. Andre, nothing silly, please. Big switch towards Adamson, and now we can counter. That's a lovely ball. Adamson gives it away. De Gea works it into midfield. It's another one of these long, scrappy highlights, but Cambueno's got in. Herbert misses the challenge. Andre doesn't, but he's a bit unfortunate. He slides in to stop the shot. It falls straight into Manuzzi's path, and he makes it 4-2 on the night. We're back to the old Southend now. High scoring, high entertainment, not much quality at the back, although we've given it away again. Andre on the edge of his own box concedes possession. Thygesen gets in. If we don't win on the night, I'll be a bit disappointed here from where we were. Munoz in, deflects for 4-3. I've mentioned this before, haven't I? We were talking about it earlier in the half. We never just have a good 90 minutes this year. There's always a, but what's going to happen in the last 20? But what's going to happen in the first half? We've never just got a full 90-minute performance. In the end, I'm thrilled to get through. We win 4-3 on the night. We win 7-4 on aggregate. But again, we've made it harder than it needed to be at the end there. We win the tie. We're trying to build confidence up. We're going to Villa in the FA Cup in 4 days' time. And with our league position perilous, we've got to start winning those games. I really need a trophy out of this season. After losing all 3 of the cup finals last year, I'll be gutted if we get to the same position again. Let's go and get through to the Villa tie. We'll be back in a minute to focus on the FA Cup. Well, it's FA Cup time. We've got fitness tests with Marciano finally fit enough to feature on the bench and Vasquez just squeaking through after his midweek ventures. Let's see how we look ahead of this one though, as Norwich have beaten Everton, which is interesting in the quarters. Who else have we got in here? Liverpool are playing City and then Championship Stoke against Spurs. This is a possible opportunity, although we've managed to throw it away in other competitions before. The league table is still looking pretty awful. If we get some perspective here, we're in 8th place. Manchester United are playing today in a home banker. They will have played 5 games more, but the board don't seem to care about that. They only care where our current position is, rather than the fact we've got 4 games in hand on most. Let's go and get through the tactical meeting and see how we get on in this one. Tell the lads to get all the opposition instructions on. They've still got Julius Still at left back, who is a player we desperately trying to side before. Their one original player, I think, is Desiree Doué, who we managed in a head coach at Bayern briefly. And then up front is Kennedy, who is a legend of both Birmingham and Aston Villa in this save. Bit of a weird one. But he is a player who always seems to be a threat against us. Let's go and see what 11 we can pick, because there will have to be rotation. All the match loads are heavy. There are a few knocks. So bear with me a moment. We'll be back to run through it in a minute. But hopefully we can pick the right team to reach the semi-final at Wembley. Well, our mate and usual saviour, Teddy Ivanov, is having his first poor spell of the season, so we've actually left him out of the squad today, which may well be a gamble. And I've also gone for both heavy match load strikers to start again. They played so well in the week, and I know it risks an injury, but we've got to try and play some of these boys into form. We've also stuck with Torres, Robertson in midfield. We stuck with the left side of our defence. You saw what happened when we took Carlos off. We're not doing that again. It is Cuzqueta in goal, who has played a few games now and done relatively well. Probably our informed goalkeeper at the minute. Aguiman and Hansen are in on the right half of defence alongside Herbert and Carlos. Adamson's in on the left wing, Kivrakidis left central midfield. In fact, we've just replaced the right side of defence, the left side of midfield and a goalkeeper. 5 changes in total. Wills and Fair still up front. Torres and Robertson still on the right side of the midfield. And to be fair, on paper it's a pretty good team. Let's hope it can deliver a good result away at Aston Villa. Well, some familiar names on the Villa substitutes bench as Domenico Tedesco in charge of them today. They've got substitutes that include the likes of Adamola and Antonovic, players we've looked at before. But let's get through the dressing room. We had a great win at Villa away in the League Cup this year. Probably one of our best performances, to be honest. So I want to say to the lads, what do I want to say? Go and put on a show. Have a bit of fun. Be motivated. Be inspired. Be excited. And be front-footed. You did so well for the first hour or so against Juve until we made the subs. Can you do it again here? We've got the old grainy picture, so let's just go out and back in. The colour should naturally reset itself a bit. I think it has. Maybe it's just a foggy day as Giancarlos throws into Adamson. Plays a 1-2. Doué gets a foot on it, but not enough as Nana Fair has missed from 6 yards. Just not got the Dion Kranic touch, have they? I don't know what it is. Can we get the light reset? It does seem to just be bad today. Maybe it is a hazy day at last. 10 minutes gone. We've dominated the match, as you can see. But yet again, not made the most of it. Not scored goals. Not taken chances. Just seen from that Norwich shootout, you can see it in the top right. Takatsuka scored one of the penalties. What a super sub he was. So often popped up with a goal for us. Villa have got a whole glut of yellow cards. And with half an hour gone, this has been a really decent display, but with nothing to show for it. And yet again, that becomes the problem late on, because rather than scoring lots of late goals this season, I'm actually tiring and conceding a few. Well, Villa on the attack in the stoppage time of the first half, and Dye's been intercepted by Robertson, and we've got a chance to break with Wills. We're so sure that was going to be a Villa attack from the start. Might yet still be. Wills nearly gives it away. Carlos finds Kivrakidis though, and that's a great pass to release Torres and Robertson. We've switched it well. Nana Fair gets in, falls for Wills from the challenge. Fair's there again. No one can nick the ball. Doué mops up in the end. It's away on the right-hand side. And still the highlight drags on with no real chance yet. The Villa keeper plays out. And they've worked it well here, Villa. They've got a chance to break into midfield. Doué streaming forward over halfway. Big switch of play. Aguiman doesn't deal with it. Might still be the Villa attack we first feared. Mansilla in. Goes for the shot. Just wide of the far post. Aguiman turned inside out there. And at half-time it's 0-0. With both sides creating a decent chance at the end. Not been the best game of football. That's I'm disappointed so far because it's not been a great performance. An early promising start has frittered away. And at the moment, we don't really look like scoring again. Well, almost an hour on the clock and still no real sign of any attacking intent. But hopefully that will change here as Herbert has it and all 10 outfield players are in the opposition half. Aguiman working down the right-hand side. Goes for the big cross towards Joe Wills. He's hit the woodwork as well. Both strikers have hit the woodwork from ahead of this game. And Giancarlos is brought down 20 yards out. Is it the heavy match load? What is it? I don't know. We're going to throw a bit of encouragement out. We'll give it 10 more. And then the final 20, we'll chuck on a different front two. We'll maybe bring on a couple in midfield. But will we be 1-0 down by then? Because Kennedy's played a short corner for Villa and no one's followed him. Jeez, that is atrocious marking. No real sign that encouragement has worked. The morale looks a little bit better, but no sign of improvement in the performance. So for the final 16 minutes, we're going to chuck on Big Ashley Carr up front alongside Liban Elmi. Then in midfield, Ivo Torres will come off for Muscat. We're going to bring Carlos off for Andre again. I know that's risky. And I'm going to leave the final sub for 5 more because I do think Robertson will have to come off later. And Adamson struggling a bit as well. So it's going to be Julian Yucalano. 10 minutes to go. Come on, boys. You've got to have more in the locker than this. 5 minutes remaining. I don't want extra time. We've got a game in midweek. We've got another game next weekend. The Premier League catch-up's bad enough. I don't need an extra 30. But that's what we've got. Yet again, struggling in front of goal. We've gone from finishing for fun against Juve. And now we can't score to save our lives. We've got Aguiman knackered at right back. Kivrakidis in the middle. Got to go fresh legs in midfield. Peter Bernberg's on for the final 30. The penalty takers left on this pitch are pretty woeful as well. Ashley Carr we know is not very good. Yucalano's not great. I don't think Adamson is. Bernberg's worse than Kivrakidis. This is a huge worry. Half time of extra time. No further highlights. As always, extra time just fritters out. We're going to throw the encouragement. I think we're going to go attack in the final 5. There's no point just drifting to penalties, is there? We've got 2 fresher strikers on. Let's get them in the game. We've gone attacking. Will we create one last chance? Or, conversely, will we concede one, having opened up some gaps at the back? Because Quetta finds Aguiman at the right back area. Down the line to Yucalano and Ashley Carr. Open your legs, son. Off you go. Ashley Carr storms down the right. Elmi's in the middle. Yocolano's arriving. Elmi's there. Blocked by the defender. Brilliant running. Aston Villa, 5 yellow cards. No second yellows, annoyingly, as Bernberg goes up to Elmi and Adamson. He's probably not the man we want on the ball because he's absolutely knackered. He's out on his feet. Andre, though, gives it to Herbert. Now Bernberg's got space. We look better now. Hansen going to Muscat and right on cue. We've given it away with a sloppy pass into midfield. They break down the left. Muscat had to do it. He did have to do that, and he's done so well not to get a yellow card out of it. It's absolutely awful. The pass into midfield from Hansen's terrible. And they've got an extra man in the box here, which does concern me. Don't throw it away with 5 seconds of extra time remaining. Kennedy puts the ball in. Header down, Herbert away. We're going to go to penalty kicks, aren't we? Aguiman nicks it. And that is the end. Adamson out on his feet, but the best penalty taker. Liban Elmi, next best. Muscat, third. And then I'm going to have to go Ashley Carr, Peter Bernberg, Andre. Yocolano and Aguiman are terrible, but they're there in case needed. Herbert, Hansen and Cusqueta, you'll be the final 3. Cusqueta's got a chance to be a hero for the first time since joining. We're off to penalties against Aston Villa. But who comes out on top? It's Kennedy first up for Aston Villa. Cusqueta not yet had a shootout at the club. It started pretty well though. Kennedy gamble going down the middle. Cusqueta stood still. Oh, he might have found the goalkeeper after all. Bettini's been a little disappointing this year. But what about Adamson? He's got nothing left apart from a composed finish. Runs up slowly, looks fatigued, puts it in the top corner. Happy days. Zumbarak up next for Villa. Can Cusqueta do it again? It goes the wrong way this time. Can't expect 2 out of 2, can we? Can we make it 2 out of 2 though? Liban Elmi steps up. He has scored recently, and it was a penalty kick. This time, though, into the bottom corner. Very comfortable. We maintain our advantage. And Tunovic, the substitute striker, is on. And he's up next third. We've got Cusqueta trying to be the hero still. And he is again. He saved 2 out of 3. We found our new goalkeeper, people. Cusqueta's getting a go as number 1 next year, let me tell you that. Muscat up 4th for us, the other January sign-in. And the 2 of them have gone a long way here to helping us through to the semi-finals. Cusqueta saves 2 of the first 3 penalties. Muscat scores the 3rd. The January sign-ins have delivered on the big stage. And we talked about that soft underbelly, that poor mentality earlier in the year. Well, those 2 have shown it in abundance. And Dye steps up. Can we make it the full set for Cusqueta? Not quite, but we've still got the advantage. Only 1 of these 3 penalties needs to go our way. But up 4th is Ashley Carr. And we all know what happens when Ashley Carr steps up in a shootout normally. There aren't many better takers. He's not scored for a little while. Ashley Carr, what can you do? Please just slide this into the bottom corner. And put his name in the headlines. It's normally when he freezes. But not this time. Southend United score every penalty. What's going on? 0-0, but a win on penalty kicks. We're through to the semi-final. Big shout out to Cusqueta, who will be first choice keeper next year, I've decided. He's well and truly arrived. We deserve to go through. But after scoring 4 away in Turin, God, we make hard work of it in front of goal there. 2 off the woodwork, 11 corners not taken. But through the dressing room, we got the result. And that is ultimately all that matters. Let's see who we'll be facing in a semi-final if we find out today. Draw should be on Monday, if I'm right. We'll find out the answer together. United drop points again at home to Forest, and we've picked up a little bit of money. Does not bode well for Wednesday night at home to a tough Sheffield United side. But for now, let's see if we get the FA Cup draw and find out who we're facing at Wembley Stadium. It's time to finish with the FA Cup semi-final draw. Liverpool and Spurs both got through, so let's be honest, we're hoping for Norwich here. Let's see who we face in a semi-final. We'll skip it, we'll press continue, and we'll hope for a little bit of good fortune here. Hopefully the result is what the fans and I want. Will it be? No, it's not. We face Tottenham Hotspur, who are having their best season in absolute years. They are second in the league with games in hand. We've now got to actually put a bit of focus on getting some league form. But we return to cup competitions in April. Spurs, look at the state of this. We've got, what do we do when the Champions League comes along? Because that will move the City game. That will move the Norwich game. So we're going to be playing midweek then into May. But I don't know where you squeeze the season in if we then get to the Champions League semi-final. It's going to be the most congested schedule we've ever had. It actually makes me a little bit frustrated because there have been opportunities to play earlier in the season where we've not. And now we've got this horrible backlog that was so avoidable. But we are going to be back next time, probably in mid-April. We'll have the Champions League quarter-final and the FA Cup semi-final to worry about. All of the focus is on the Cups now because, look, we're not winning the league. We are 17 points behind with 2 games in hand. We're not getting close to that. But we're 8 points off the top 4 with 4 games in hand. We should be challenging for that. We'll come back to that focus later in the season. For now, it will be all focus on the Cups. We will be back, if it plays out the way it says there, for the second leg of the quarter-final in the FA Cup. We'll judge it depending on what happens to the schedule as and when we go along. For now, though, if you did enjoy this one, a thriller in Turin, a bore fest in Birmingham, then please do put a thumbs up on it. Because Quetta, he's got to be number 1 now, hasn't he? And who on earth do I play up front? Because they're all out of form and inconsistent. If you want to stay up to date and find out what I choose to do and see if we can go on a run and finally win one of these cup competitions again, then please do subscribe and turn that notification bell on. Make sure if you haven't already, you go and check out yesterday's Coach's Head video. It is the chance for you to make a decision as to whether we continue to save or not. And if so, where we go, if anywhere. Let me know what you would do in that one. Come and join us. It's only a short video from yesterday. That's up in the eye above. As is the Twitch channel and a football podcast where we've got loads of live streams to come on both later this week, as well as the return of championship predictions today on the podcast too. Come and get involved. Give me your scores there. Thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you back here in a couple of days' time as we finish the week with an FA Cup semi-final and a Champions League quarter. Still chasing our first win in Europe. Hopefully, we can edge closer next time.